Inside PressBox is presented by Maryland Mutual Mortgage. Contact them at mdmutual.com for the best mortgage to fit your needs. Evan Washburn has played an important role in bringing CSNBaltimore.com to the forefront of providing local lacrosse coverage. He joined me on Inside PressBox last week as guest co-host and was kind enough to stick around after the show to extend our conversation on lacrosse and find out what makes him the perfect fit to get CSNBaltimore.com immediately into the fast-paced world of lacrosse. And back as promised with Evan Washburn from CSNBaltimore.com. And if we look like we're wearing the same clothes we did last week, it's because you were great. You came in to tape this interview while I'm in Sarasota, but you pitched in as a co-host. Did you feel comfortable last week?
I think I've got this chair. I'm ready to take your job, Stan.
You won't be the first one to do that. Hey, CSNBaltimore.com. First of all, we're happy to be affiliated, PressBox, with CSNBaltimore.com, and I got to meet you right away back last August when we started working together. But this year, turns out you kind of jumped in, went to Mark Lapidus, who's kind of the guy we have to report to over there, and you said, hey, lacrosse is big in Baltimore. I played lacrosse. So tell our viewers out here what it is, where you played.
Well, I grew up in Annapolis, and I went to Severn School and played there for 4 years, and then was lucky enough to get a scholarship to go to University of Delaware.
Great education.
Yeah, it was a great school. And
slot machines, way before Maryland.
Way before Maryland. Yeah, it was a great weekend spot for us. But, yeah, so I up to Newark and had a great 5 years there. I had a couple injuries that were tough, but anyone that's played sports knows that's part of the deal. And
what position did you play?
I played defense.
Okay.
And one of the interesting things when I was at Delaware is I came in right after one of their worst losing seasons, and I got to see the program just totally grow. And each year we got a little bit better. In my senior year was when we made the Final Four run and played Hopkins in the Final Four here at M&T Bank Stadium. And unfortunately we lost, but it was a great experience, and the passion that I have for the game is unmatched.
All kidding aside, now you did cover the Ravens. You're not just a lacrosse reporter or producer for CSNBaltimore.com and Comcast Sportsnet, but did you know Flacco at all at Delaware? Because you covered him this year.
I did. I mean, we'd cross each other in the weight room.
Hey kid, get out of my way, kid.
Well, the interesting thing that I always tell people is that Joe Flacco wasn't the Joe Flacco that we know in Baltimore when he was at University of Delaware. He was a transfer from Pittsburgh.
Right.
He came in and he was good. And as you guys have seen, he's a very quiet guy, so he didn't jump on campus and just totally grab everyone's attention. But it was after the season and then after the draft, obviously, that he became what he is now.
All right, let's fast forward now. So CSNBaltimore.com starts last August. You go to Mark Lapidus with this idea, hey, if we're going to be in Baltimore, let's make a difference because lacrosse is king in Baltimore. So tell us what happened.
Well, it's pretty much exactly that. I went into Mark's office, and I can't say enough how helpful Mark's been and receptive to my ideas, and I basically pitched.
He's told me privately he does not care for you at all. No.
Well, that's tough to hear. But as long as I'm still getting a paycheck and I'm still being able to put stuff up, that's great. But I went in and I said, look, if we're going to have a Baltimore site, we've got to do lacrosse. The people here, they eat it up. And we have Inside Lacrosse is a great publication, and they do a great job, but they're pretty mainstream and they have a bigger scope. I want to focus strictly on the local teams and really give people not only game coverage but stories. Today we did a story on Josh Hawkins. He's a defensive midfielder from Loyola. Kind of give stuff to the people that they can't really get from maybe Lax.com or Inside Lacrosse.
Okay. And like tonight, you got a story earlier in our interview from last week when Jen Adams on a couple Australian players that she was able to recruit from her hometown back in Australia.
Those are the kind of stories we're trying to do. Things to kind of tell the story of our local teams and the players that make them up.
Now, you will each week, you'll preview the games that are coming up for the weekend, and we're doing something every Thursday on Fox 1370 at 1240. We do about 10 minutes of talking to this, but we'll preview the games, then you're at the game or somebody else from CSNBaltimore.com or PressBox will write about them. We'll have interviews after the game, so we're a full-service lacrosse site within the site.
Well, I mean, I was so excited once I heard from you that you guys were passionate about lacrosse like I am, and it's a great marriage because you guys produce great written content, and my focus is more so on the video side, but I'll also put the pen to paper and try and get stuff up on the site. But more so, if we can have your guys' great written content along with our high production value from Comcast Sportsnet, it's a great place to go get all the lacrosse information you need.
You know, it's kind of like Charlie Sheen said a couple weeks back. He goes, you win here, you win there. You know, I'm a winner. All kidding aside, this year, who are the winners going to be? If you had to pick now, as we talk in early March, who's the winners going to be come Memorial Day weekend?
Well, if I have to throw money on it, and it sounds like it's the easy choice, but I'd say University of Virginia. I mean, they have all the power and the players that they need, and their only trouble will be Syracuse, and those two teams are kind of ahead above the rest. But I wouldn't put it past some of our local teams. Hopkins looks good and Loyola looks good.
That's what, and one other team looks good. Those are the hyper local teams. University of Maryland, we talked earlier today, and we got about 30 seconds. The way they beat Georgetown 2 weeks ago was really impressive. You don't beat a number 12 team 20-8 unless you have some firepower.
And you don't beat Georgetown 20-8. Georgetown has been known for their defense, and to have Maryland put up 20 goals shows that John Tillman's got something going on there with the Terps.
All right. Really appreciate your co-hosting last week, being on this week, and I'll look forward to having you on every Thursday during the lacrosse season on Fox 1370 AM. You do a terrific job over there at csnbaltimore.com. When we get back, we'll continue and we'll talk to the author of High Heat, the look and the search for the fastest pitcher in baseball of all time. That's next. And now let's take a look at our photo of the week, brought to you by Yingling Lager, a true American classic. Taste the quality of the 180 years of family-owned and operated tradition. Brews into every bottle. Sabina Moran went to see the number 2 Stevenson Mustang men's lacrosse team play a Capital Athletic Conference game against Hood College, and she took this picture of senior attackman Jimmy Daly, who had 3 goals and 4 assists as the Mustangs trampled Hood 22-4. You can read the full game story at PressBoxOnline.com and check out a Q&A with Daly in the March issue of PressBox. Sign up for the weekly PressBox email newsletter with the latest Baltimore sports information presented by Toyota. Just go to PressBoxOnline.com and submit your email address today.